At that point, the Redcoats were forced to leave Boston and go out on an island called Castle William out in the harbor. He had rid the people of Redcoats, and he felt that peace might finally return. I was elated. Finally, all of this would happen, where we would have peace. We didn't know it at the time, but when those men got shot on that very day in England, Parliament had rescinded the Townshend Acts and the tea tax. Everything had gone back to normal. And we didn't even know it, and those people died needlessly. Many other things happened beyond that. You probably heard of the Boston Tea Party. Some of you probably heard of Lexington. I might throw out one important point. There's a gentleman named William Johnson who has written a number of novels about all that time. You see, there is one fact in history that kind of bothers me personally. One is, supposedly, and I'm not going to deny it, it could have happened, but there was a lady named Griffith who owned a grog shop not far from Hancock's Wharf, which was my wharf. And in that place, she basically became a paramour of mine. At least that's what Mr. Johnson contends in his novels. He named it the Snug Harbor Tavern. And you might understand this. There were more than 67 breweries and distilleries in Boston. There were more than 150 taverns, and more than half of them were also bordellos, houses of ill repute, if you would. Now, in Puritan Boston, we could not talk about such places, so we referred to them nicely as nunneries. And Mr. Johnson named the ladies that worked there Faith, Hope, Chastity, Charity, and Purity. Terrible thing if you might think about it, but it is interesting. Now that I mention ladies, I possibly should close with a couple ideas. One is for the ladies in the audience. You see, we had a problem with, you might call, sanitation. The rustics out in the countryside took a bath twice a year, once in May and another one in October. And in so doing, when they took those baths, you notice they got bathed in May. That's why June marriages and weddings were so popular. You were a little bit clean in June after your bath. But getting to the point, many people suffering from the pox, smallpox, would leave all of these bad pits on people's faces. And the ladies used to take beeswax to smooth their faces out. The problem is, when they got near a fine fireplace such as this, in the winter or in the sun in the summer, the backs would start flowing a little bit. Well, the ladies who were part of their sewing circles would get close and say, "My dear, you are losing face." To which she would respond, "Mind your own beeswax." Hence the phrase. You know, I could go on and on with many, many things as we worked our way toward Lexington and Concord, but perhaps I should save that at another time, or the details of the Boston Massacre. But what I should bring up is the important thing is that we became a United States. And when I think about it, I think of my friend Ben Franklin and all those other guys. You know, I brought a little replica here. This is a replica of the pistol that my friend George Washington carried during the Revolution. 75 caliber. Did a lot of damage. But there was more than damage that happened. There were some wonderful things. After we created the Constitution, Ben Franklin was asked out in the street in Philadelphia, "What have you given us, Dr. Franklin?" To which he responded, "A republic, if you can keep it." Republic. I like the sound of the word. It means people can live free, talk free, go or come, buy or sell, be drunk or sober, whatever you choose. Some words give you a feeling. Republic is one of those words that makes me tight in the throat. The same feeling a man gets when his baby takes his first step, or his first baby shaves and makes his first sound like a man. Some words give you a feeling that make your heart warm. Republic is one of those words. It has been my job to speak. It has been yours to listen. I pray that we finished at the same time. Thank you.